Alright, hey guys. So I left off last, and this is what our app is looking like. We have suggestions that we can add to boards, we can create more boards. What I want to do today is to be able to have a voting button right here. So you can click on this and you can vote on different suggestions. So the first thing I think I want to do to get that started is I want to do something like this, where there's a little icon on the right. So I'm going to try to set that up. So I'm just going to look at the documentation for this. Looks like they're using left checkbox. We want a right toggle. The only thing is, there's an actual thing called right toggle. I'm not sure if I can do a right icon. And more so, I don't know if I can do a right icon and do an on click with that. Right? So let's see how they're specifying the icons here. Like this one has a little icon. Let's see how they're specifying it. So left icon, maybe I can actually set an icon. So I'm going to try this, and maybe I can set an on click for one. So I'm going to give that a try. So if I go, this is front end code. Suggestion, this is just a list item. Let's go ahead and add a right icon. Now we want a different icon. Let's go to the material icons, and then we can go ahead and pick the one we want. And it doesn't look like this is loading, so let's just Google material icons and see if we can pick out the one we want, such as icon button. Oh, the resulting icon could be used or included as a child for other material icons, such as icon button. All right, let's use the icon button. All right. So icon button, and you wrap it with that. So I'm going to just actually copy this. We can change the icon out later. So paste that here, and let's give it a try. So icon button, and let's move this to the next line, and then in the middle, action home. So save that, no trailing space. Alright, ESLint usually just like auto fixes that, not sure what's going on there. Let's see. Alright, so it's off center, but it's there. See how it's like at the bottom right? But let's test whether we can put like an on click on it, because that's what's important. And let's see. On touch tap. On touch tap is equal to console.log hi. There we go. So let's open up consoles and see if we get it. Alright, now if I click over here, it shouldn't pop up. Good, I actually think it's working. The only thing is, I'm worried this might, trigger, like notice when I click here, the whole thing is getting clicked. So if I want a different on click for this, I'm afraid it's going to trigger. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So if we want a different one here, so on touch tap for the list item itself. So console.log touch list item. Alright, so notice even though I'm no matter what, I'm touching a list item, even if I'm touching here. So that might need to get reworked, the icon anyway. So maybe for now, you only have to click on the list item and it doesn't matter. So let's just render the home icon, I guess. See what that looks like. I wonder if it'll actually fit in the middle. Yep. So that looks better actually. And then maybe we just have to vote on this. And so we have the suggestion text. There should be an ID here as well. Go to React, we can check and make sure. And what we'll do is we'll pass the ID in there to vote. So coming over here to React, we see list item. Yeah, okay, so we have an ID that we're getting from suggestion. So what I think I'm going to do is wrap this component in a GraphQL tag. So I'm going to say schema. Let's create a new mutation. So we're going to have to actually go and do all the back-end work for this, but the front-end work is super simple. So we're going to export const vote mutation, and we'll just call this mutation. We really just have to pass the ID, right? So, and we're going to say vote on suggestion, and then just pass in the ID that we want. And then we can just do a Boolean back whether the vote succeeded or not. So we don't need to get anything. So let's actually create this on the back end. But first we can go ahead and call this, I suppose, here. So import GraphQL from React Apollo. And then here we want to import the mutation just created. So up, and then mutations. And the mutation I called it was vote mutation. We're going to say const suggestion is equal to, and then that's what we'll export default. So vote mutation. And now we also want to add this, what's it called? A subscription to this so it actually updates live. So that'll be really cool too. So here we now have a mutate prop. And then whenever we touch tab, we'll just go ahead and say this dot. We don't even have to do this dot because we have mutate here. And then variables, passing in the ID. And that's good. So let's actually support this on the back end. So I have the back end all the way over here. So first I want to actually just get this working without subscriptions, and I want to go in and add subscriptions to this. So, all right, type mutation. So vote on suggestion, passing in the ID, which is an integer, and we'll just pass back a Boolean on whether the vote succeeded or if like they can't even vote, right? If they've already voted once. So there's a chance it fails. Now let's go to the resolvers. And actually I think what we need to do is to create a new database model, and we need to make a many-to-many relationship in this so we know who is voting on this. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to say a vote, and let's go ahead and copy this. Actually, yeah, okay. So I was wondering if I need to make this a many-to-many relationship, and I don't think so. So vote, I call it vote. Actually, I don't think vote needs to have any fields. Actually, I think so. A user can vote on many suggestions. Can a suggestion be pointed? Yep, actually, it's a vote is just a many-to-many relationship with the user. So get rid of that. We don't need to create a separate one. We just need to create a many-to-many relationship. So I'm just going to come over here and go to Sequelize's website, and I believe, I forget the exact method we have to call to do a many-to-many relationship. I think it's, yeah, actually I don't remember at all. I know it's not has many. I think it's belongs to many. If I remember correctly, yeah, it belongs to many and do this. Okay. So many-to-many with suggestion. And so this is going to be user belongs to models.suggestion through and we're going to call through table called vote. I forget if I have to create the table or if I can just give it a string. Does it say? Like here it's passing a model. I think I can just pass it a string though. We'll see. If it breaks, I can come back and create an actual model, but I think it can just say I want to call it vote. And the foreign key here, I'll say user ID. And we can copy this and do the same thing on suggestion. And we actually need to do an association, so copy you. So this is going to be suggestion.associate. We don't need these two, we just need the many-to-many. Here we're going to say suggestion.belongs to many user, and then here it's going to be suggestion ID. Okay. So, alright, so we created that association. Let's go ahead and rebuild our database. So come over here to index, and we'll just say force true. Now, if it goes ahead and builds okay, then that means we're good. And I actually just want to go into pSQL real quick. And what did I call this? Baklava, I think, yep. And I just want to see if we have a votes table, or a vote table, and we do, so perfect. So we're good. So we're going to get rid of the force. It recreated, restarted. Now I'm going to go to the schema. Nope, I mean the resolver now. So we can just go ahead and make that. So copy you. This is going to be vote on suggestion. And from here we need models and we need user. I think I set up authentication for this, but I can't remember. If not, we'll have to set up auth so we automatically get the user. I think we have it though. And then we're going to get the ID. This is going to be the ID of, what is this ID for? Oh yeah, this is for the suggestion. And now I know why we need to make a separate model. We do need to make a vote model. That way we can call it here to create a new one. So we're going to go ahead and say vote here. And we can just copy this, paste it here. This actually doesn't need any props whatsoever. Or not props, but it doesn't have anything in it. The only reason I'm putting it here is that way, and we can get rid of this, I suppose, now. So now my user, we're actually going to be through models.vote, and the suggestion is going to be models.vote here. So we have to force the database again. Oops. But now what this will let us do, one too many. So now that I have a vote table in a resolver, I can say models.vote.create, and then the suggestion ID is equal to ID, and then the user ID is equal to the ID that we have from the user. And then, oops, and we're going to return a boolean here, so I'm just going to say, make this an async function, and I'm going to await this. And if we didn't get an error, we return true. Let's put a comma here. Yeah, this should be spaced. There we go. Also, we need to go ahead and import this. So this was called vote from vote. All right. Like we did before, go ahead and put force. And then when that goes ahead and runs again, we're good. So now we need to update though our, what do we need to do? I think in our schema for suggestion, we should have a votes. And the votes, what this is going to be is a count of how many votes there are. So this is going to be a join monster. We're going to have to join on a field. So let's see, what is this? Suggestion fields votes. So for this, we're going to have to do a SQL join. Suggestion table. And this table here, what is the table? That's going to be this one. So how does it know what to join with this? Actually, yeah, how is it getting this? So suggestions, I guess it knows the type. Votes is an int, so I don't think it's going to know the other table that this needs to join on. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this here. And the table we need to join with is the vote table. So we want to do this on suggestion ID. So you wrap that with double quotes because there's an uppercase I. And we're going to say suggestion table. Okay. So we're going to join on the vote table here, where the suggestion ID is equal to the ID of this suggestion. And then basically we just want to count all the votes that it has. And I actually don't know how to do that with join monster, so let's go ahead and look it up. I think there's like an aggregation section in their documentation where they talk about it. Let's go to the docs. Because basically what we just need to do is call count. So, okay, wrong kind of aggregation. Sure. Let's see if we can just search for the word count. Oh, none. Okay. I know it's in here somewhere. I feel like I've seen it before. Maybe misc properties. No. Arbitrary def, joining, where clause, calling join monster. Alright, let's just Google it then. Join monster count. See if we can find anything with this. Yeah, this is exactly what we want to do. So SQL column count. Oh, this is just saying, this guy might have a weird query though. But it looks like count, and then he's doing SQL column count star. I think this guy's just doing it a weird way. Let's look at a different thing. Here we go. Maybe under aggregation I was right. Okay, so SQL expression. Actually, yeah, let's just go ahead and write our expression like this. I like this. Actually, no, because we don't really need to do a subquery. I'd like to count as well. I mean, this would work. So instead of doing a join, okay, I did not copy that correctly. All right, so instead of doing a join, what we can do is we can just do a regular suggestion table. We can just do a regular query here where we're just going to say select count all from suggestion table. Actually, no. This is going to be from vote, comma, suggestion table. And then the where clause for us is going to be ID. This is going to be vote dot suggestion ID is equal to suggestion table dot ID. And there should be some arguments we pass to this too, right? Actually, no. For each suggestion, we get the suggestion table. Nope, this looks good. I think this is good. Let's go ahead and try to run the query and see what happens. So our server started up. We can just go to graphical over here. Actually, no, this won't work because we need to be authenticated. Well, okay. So we need authentication to vote, but we can go ahead and call the query, I suppose. So let's get all boards, and then from there let's get us suggestions. Oh right, we just dropped all the boards. All right, let's just do it from here. And in our code here, in our query, oh, we should make this a fragment, by the way. All boards query get board. I'll show you guys how to make fragments. That's a good way to do it, votes. Because you notice how we're copying like the same GraphQL here, ID, name, suggestions. Okay. Let's just go ahead and do that real quick, actually. So we can say const board fragment is what I'm going to call it. It's equal to GQL. And we're going to say board fragment. We'll say all fields board fragment. We'll say all fields board. Now let's call it all board fields. Fragment on. Actually, I think it's fragment all boards on the type of board, and then you put it here. And then what we want is this. And then here we do dot 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 all board fields. And then here we're going to put our board fragment. And we put that same thing here. Yeah, we do it outside. Do dot 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 all board fields. Okay. Let's make sure it doesn't crash now that we're getting the boards. Syntax at or near select. Okay, so we wrote our query wrong. So, oh, maybe because we needed to put it in parentheses, like I saw in that. So, let's put it in parentheses. Go ahead and refresh. Relation suggestion does not exist. Where are we referencing suggestion? Not here because I'm using suggestion table. GraphQL relation. All right, let's see what our database is saying here. We're not getting any errors here. Let's just refresh and rerun. All right, here we go. So left join suggestion on. Did we break the database? we should have select all from suggestions, boards. They're there. All right, let's just try running this. See what happens. Copy. This is what I usually do if it's acting weird. So baklava. So wait, where is the? That should be suggestions. Right here. Okay. For whatever reason, oops, it's over here. Suggestion table is wrong. This should be suggestions. All right. Oops. And we don't need this anymore. By the way, I'm starting to think that this query over there is wrong that we're doing for counting. But let's wait and see. I'll be patient. All right, so let's say board 1. Cannot read ID of undefined. Well, we certainly messed up something. Alright, the boards will not even get created. Are not getting created. Oh, we're not logged in. And we have no users, so we need to sign up actually. Did I create a sign up page? Should I call it register maybe? Yeah, that's what I did. Alright, so Bob. Log in. I need to get these pages redirected. Should not have to manually switch. Go ahead and submit. Cool. See how that switched over here? That's what I want to happen. Call it A. S1. Missing votes. So the reason for that is on our update here. Where's our update? It's not here. I don't see an update. Yeah. That's suggestions. Here, there should be another update where we're creating the suggestion. Let's look for update. I'm going to specify source so we don't get that junk. Alright, here are the 2 updates. So which one do we care about? This one. So votes is going to be equal to this dot props. Okay, so when we create a new suggestion, the vote should actually be 0. So let's put 0 here. All right, refresh. Let's see, S2. A break still. So what field are we missing? Missing votes. But when we're writing this, I'm putting it here. Could it be, oh, it's probably our mutation. So the reason why is we are not using, let's go ahead and use our fragment, dot, 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 all fields or whatever. So import from, I want to import this guy, this fragment, because I want to use it over there. Export board fragment. Import board fragment from queries. And then we're going to do the same thing we did over there, is add the board fragment and then do all board fields. I think that was what I called it. Yeah. And now hopefully it should update correctly. No, we're still missing it. This is what, when we create the board? Yeah. That's good. We need to grab votes here. That's what I was doing wrong. This didn't actually do anything. I mean, it's good to use the same fragment across, but that didn't do anything. That's fine. Okay. S4. Go. Cannot return null for non-nullable fields suggestion.votes. Why did it return null? So I guess in our mutation over here, we need to actually return 0 for votes. So that would be create suggestion. So we're going to say const suggestion is going to be await. Make this async. And then we're going to return dot 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 s dot data values. The reason why we're doing dot data values is because SQLize puts some other metadata we don't need. And then we're going to say votes 0. Why is return? Oh, this should be a semicolon there. Okay. Cool. We can finally create a suggestion. We had to change code in a lot of places for that. All right. So now if I click on this, I should vote. So we should have just voted on S4. To see whether this actually happens, since we don't have anything showing, I'm going to select all from vote. And it did not work. So I'm not sure if the suggestion just did not, into votes. Even though it's called vote. Is it called votes? Maybe it's called votes. I'm not sure why we have a vote and a votes now. Probably because when I did force, it didn't drop. So let's drop table vote, since we should not have that anymore. Okay. All right, but this looks good, right? So in votes here, we have user ID, suggestion ID. So now if I come over here to graphical, now I want to test and make sure that query that we made earlier works for counting votes. Oh, it should be 3030. Should be my server, not my client. So all boards, all I care about is the suggestions and then the votes. Let's do also the ID so we know what vote it is. Relation vote does not exist. So under metadata over here, we need to say votes. We run it. Okay, so everything has a votes of 1. And the reason why is we're just joining on the table, right? Oh, this is actually really bad, what we're doing. I just realized what we need to do. Right? So what's going to happen is when we're going to run a subquery for each suggestion. So when we run this, we're going to do 5 suggestions here. That's really bad. We don't want that. Also, like the query's wrong, right? Because we're getting 1 for everything. What I think we need to do is pass the ID. So SQL expression, we want to get the ID of the suggestion. So here we're just straight getting all the votes in the world, right? We need to get the votes for suggestion ID that we care about. So I'm just going to see what all the values of these parameters are. If one of them is like, so what we need one of them to be is the current suggestions ID, this thingy. Maybe it'll give it to us. And then we can actually get this to work. But either way, if we can get it to work, it's complete trash, right? So undefined. There's this thingy. I don't think this helps us. Alright, this is not what I want to do anyway. Here's the query that I'd like to run. So something like select text from suggestion, comma, ID. Also count. We can count like that, I think. Yeah, actually, let's see what that does. Must appear in group by clause. I don't know if I can count and select at the same time. Let's see if that's possible. So count and select. So post equal count and select rows. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Yeah, that's what we want to do. I don't think that's possible. Counting to row in the big table is known to be slow. To get a precise number, it has to do a full count of the rows. Due to the nature, there's ways to speed this up dramatically if the count does not have to be exact, like it seems to be in your case. Looks like we have to do 2 separate queries. Better yet, okay, here's what we're going to do instead. Speed this up. Because I think I have an idea to speed this up. reading this, it looks like we can't do what I want to do. I don't think I can, I don't think you can select and count at the same time, right? That doesn't make any sense. So what we're going to do, so what we're going to do is come back over here to our, and let's swap, since we're going to be doing a lot of database stuff right now, I'm going to swap these two for easy access. Alright, so we don't want to do this. I want to go back to the inner join. I want to join on this. So, suggestion table. And that was not even working well. So I'm just going to write my own query here. So, we need to pass it the ID, don't we? Oh no, we have the where clause in there anyway. Okay, so suggestions.id is equal to votes.suggestionID. Right? So this will not be correct out of the gate because we're not counting the votes, right? Votes now is going to be this thing. I don't know. I want to see what happens when we run this. I don't think it's going to work, but I think it's going to lead us to where we want to go. So column suggestion.votes does not exist. What? That's fine. All right. Oh wait, column suggestion.votes. Oh, because I told it to do the SQL join and it should know to get the votes. I want to basically do a custom resolver for this. So when we have the votes, I want to do that. This is tricky to get with join monster, actually. This particular field we'd like to just resolve. Okay, so we want to do a join on it. We need to join on this table, and then we need to count how many exist. I don't know what the best way to do this is. I don't want to select. Here's my idea. So we do something like this, right? I'm gonna copy, Here's the SQL I'd really like to run. So something like text from suggestion. And also let's get so text, comma, user ID. From suggestion, comma, and that should be wrapped in double. So it's going to be votes, where votes dot suggestion I was seeing if it could autocomplete suggestion ID. It looks like it wasn't. I think I did something wrong because we're not auto-completing anything. So suggestions.id. Okay, so that worked. Cool. So we're joining on this table. Okay, that did not work how I thought it would. This is only getting suggestions with votes. Not only do we need the votes, we need everything. I guess there's outer joins. What's a lateral join? I've seen them do lateral joins too. Basically, I have to do this fancy SQL statement to get this to work, I think. What is a lateral join? Lateral keyword can be received sub-select. I just want to see an example of this. Left lateral. Yeah, something like this actually. I think. Alright, they're doing subqueries. I don't think, I think maybe subqueries is the only way we can get this to work. Alright, I'm gonna do subqueries for now, but I think a subquery is just the worst thing in the world. Yeah, just performance-wise, I think it's gonna kill us. Okay, so we're gonna select text. And votes, we'll call it V as V. Okay, so we're going to select the text from suggestions, and then for each suggestion, what I'd like to do is select count star let's get the ID too. So select star from votes where ID, which we grab here, is votes dot suggestion ID. Okay, cool. So this gives us back what we want. So we get every text and then the votes counted. So let's go ahead and copy this. And we can put this back now. So this is the subquery you want to run. Yeah. Let's see if that works. Bam. Column ID is ambiguous. So let's see the SQL that it runs. Down here. So we want this guy. Oops. There we go. Run that. Voila! And we're working. So now we get that vote count what we like. So now, instead of putting a stupid house here, let's see if we can put the number. So okay, now we have the DB set up how we like it. We can go back to our client. And let's go to, yep, no, this is the right place. And grab votes. And then here I want to show what the value of votes is. So see if there's a way to just like put a right, something on the right. Can I put a like the right side, right toggle, right avatar? This is exactly what I want. I didn't know I could do a right icon button. Okay, I need to add this. This is how we're going to vote in the future. I'll do that in a second though. Okay, well, for now, for the primary text, we'll say this, and we'll just put a space, and then we'll put the votes for each one. Alright, so now if I vote on this one, nothing happens because we're not updating the query, so we need to do that. But if I refresh, we should see a 1 there. And we do, cool. Now if I click it again, cool, we get a validation error because you can only vote on it once. hate how many times we're doing subqueries. I don't know if there's a cool, elegant way to do this without subqueries, though. I'm gonna have to think about it. But let's go ahead and fix this with a right icon button. So, right icon button. Just grab this import. On touch tab, we'll do a mutation. So I'd like to mutate the vote now. There. So actually I'd like to just kill this guy and put him here. Nice. Let's see this in action. Wait, I was like, why? How did this thing get added? This should not be here. I don't know why this popped up. Alright. So clicking this should do nothing. So if I refresh, that should still be a 0 on S3. Nice, but if I hit the home, I should get a validation error. Yeah, perfect. Love it. And we get a nice ripple effect too. Cool. Now I'll be voting on this. Alright, now let's see if we can make it to where we update this right away. So let's do an update. Copy the syntax here. And I think it's what, a key next to props? Or not props, a key next to variables? Yeah. Actually, we can copy this whole thing because optimistic UI would be handy for this as well. Actually, here I was about to update this, but we're going to be using subscriptions, so I'm actually not even going to worry about updating this, creating an update. Because what's going to happen is when you click this, we're subscribed to updates for when it is incremented, so we'll just get a new one in there. Alright, this looks pretty good. Voting is well underway. I just need to figure out how the heck I'm going to do this count thing. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions on how to do this to grab the votes. Maybe I need to rearrange my schema and a better way to support this. I'm not sure. But yeah, alright, I think I'm going to stop here for now. Next week, I will do subscriptions for sure. I said I was going to do subscriptions now, but voting took a lot longer to get set up. So next week, subscriptions for sure. That's what's next to do. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week.